Yo, yo, ho, ho, hump day, Matt, on a short week. HFR from the floor. Missed trade. Market Vitals is the show. MarketVitals.io is the website in our trading community. Streaming live to the world. Matt, before we start, please, if you're watching, retweet this son bitch, right? And repeat the retweet, repeat, share, all those things that would help us grow the community around traders that are willing to engage in honest dialogue around price discovery. That's what we aim to do, man.
Bob, it looks like you're frozen right now. So there you go.
Oh, no. Still?
Yeah.
Still
But I
frozen?
can hear you, so just keep going.
I don't see any freezing on my side of things.
All right, well, maybe it's my side.
No.
I don't
I
know.
don't know what to do, Matt, when technology doesn't work.
You just keep going. You just plod through.
Well, we got a great show. I want to make sure it works.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
All right.
What should we do? Your call. I mean, I'm seeing me fine. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. And I see me moving. You're just like your video is locked. That's all.
My video.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's stop my video. And let's start my video.
Okay.
Any better?
It's a black screen now. But I hear you still.
All right. So you hear me, but it's very important, Matt, that I share my screen.
Oh, I have not done that, so I can set that up.
All the graphics are on my feed.
Right. I got you.
Oh,
I don't think that's going to affect anything as far as that goes, but okay.
What are you talking about? I got great graphics today.
Well, start showing them.
Can you see me again?
Oh, black screen.
We got to come out. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Just keep going. Talk like you're doing the show.
All right, Matt. Let me see if I can find it here. Actually, let's do this. Let me do this.
Call the producer. See what he's got.
So I can share. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
You don't know yet?
You have the rights to share. Whether we can see what you're sharing, I can't tell you.
Okay. Hold on a second.
So far, no.
How about now? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Hey, all right.
And you're back. So you just had to be patient. You had to exhale for a moment and take off your skinny jeans.
All right. So yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about because it leads into our style episode, Matt. Style. Davey Portnoy with the Baryshnikov tights on and the ladies' shoes. Now, I'm not sure if either one of those things are true, but definitely a look you or I could not pull off.
Well,
so I don't know. I mean, skinny little guy. How big is Dave Portnoy?
I mean, I'd say he's probably 160 by the looks of it.
160. I saw him standing next to a jockey. I don't know if that was somebody superimposed him just to make him look smaller. I mean, very hard to tell, right? Very hard to tell.
Well, let's look at this bag. I mean, this bag is probably 2.5 feet tall that he's pulling around the airport wherever he's going. And he's probably about 5'6", 150, 160, I'd say.
I'm going 140, 5'4", 140.
Yeah. Okay.
Over under. I don't know. I don't really give a shit either. Right. But it's for sure I wanted to share because it's a style. How about now? Can you see me now?
No, I can't. But just keep going.
Oh, well, because it's important. Hold on. Where else did I pull this from? This is going to be a total clusterfuck, this show. I got to tell you that right now. What a clusterfuck. Are you kidding me?
Just keep going, buddy. Plod along.
I got to find, I'm all discombobulated now because I wanted to share the son of a bitch. I wanted to share with you and the audience.
Well, we can see your screen, so you can share your screens.
Yeah. Let me just see if that'll work. I'm going to share a screen of a screen.
Perfect. Let's try it.
All right. How about this? Can you see this?
I can actually see you now.
Look at that. All right. To the guy who's got a girl in every city, Delta will fly you there at 50% off. Man, we bring this up because, you know, advertising, we need to make advertising great again. That's my point. They actually had the cajones, right? To put this in a paper. Delta's ready to fly when you are. When you want to go to Chicago for your cutie or Miami for your minx or Los Angeles for your lovely, San Francisco for your sweetie, New York for your knockout, and Dallas for your darling. Delta ready to fly, baby. And the other thing I thought about Delta was, why'd they have to call it the Delta variant? That can't be good for advertising, right? Get the Delta variant while you're flying Delta.
Well, now if they go to the Alaska Continental and the American variants next, we might be in trouble. Maybe that will kill the airlines for sure.
Well, why don't you share for a second the Delta chart and let's talk price discovery.
Sure, let's do it. So Delta, like many of the travel names, and we've talked about them for a bit here, Bob, look like they probably topped a little bit to me. And we've been talking about this really since March. So they haven't gone anywhere, but they're just tipping, as it's interesting as we tip into the summer here. And I know living in a tourist town like we do, airports are jammed. The Redmond airport, by the way, has had more traffic in 2021 in May. We haven't seen the June numbers yet. Should be this week, than we had in 2019. So locally here in Bend, we have fully recovered. And as you know, if you hopped onto the river this weekend, it was full traffic. It was I-5 is what it was. Like it's I-5 on the Deschutes River through Bend these days. It's full traffic going nowhere, very slowly, and a lot of drunk ass people. So everything's good. But Delta hit a high of 52, Bob, 52.62, trading 42.76. Earnings are coming in a week. So that'll be a big number for a lot of these because I don't think this quarter's earnings will necessarily be great. But, and again, I don't think travel necessarily is off the hook. It has improved, but I still don't think we're, on a regular, Detroit to Fort Lauderdale route, things aren't really cooking, you know what I mean? Just like Detroit to Nashville, it's not, it's not a full plane. I just don't think people are traveling for business. And I think that's where like if you live in a tourist town, you recognize it, but outside of a tourist town, it's not going to be airports aren't that busy still. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense, Matt.
So
perfect sense.
Delta, like Carnival, like Norwegian, and we can look at Carnival here real quick. Carnival's really rolling over here. It's 31 down to 24. So again, 20% off from the highs here, Bob, and not particularly looking super strong. So that's what I got to say about that.
All right, Matt. I'm going to try and share again with this. There we go. So bear with me, Matt. Bear with me. Conor McGregor, UFC 264, and Dustin Poirier.
Well, yeah.
I got to tell you, man, I'm looking forward to this fight. And I watched some people talk about it, thinking that it's going to go 5 and Poirier is going to outlast McGregor. These guys, they for sure are showing a lot more respect for each other, but they do not like each other once that bell rings inside that ring. I don't see how this thing goes 5. I really don't.
And who do you like? Who do you like? So this is not my ball.
I like Poirier again, man. I think he just dominated as far as I was concerned. McGregor is a little long in the tooth, and the fighting game is just brutal. It's brutal on you. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. But what I really wanted to bring up was this one, Matt. This was a email from Wayfair to me at my bob@manja.tv email address in case you would like to talk Manja. But the headline caught me, right? Mudrooms are disappearing from homes, and here's why. Well, I can tell you why. It's because the fucking kids aren't going out getting dirty anymore, right?
One word for you.
Why would you need a mudroom if the kids don't get dirty? They're in the basement, right? Playing Fortnite. That's where they are. forget the mudroom. Mudrooms are out now, right? Nobody does their own lawns anymore.
As is kindergarten and preschools are out now too.
Everything's canceled. Anyway, Matt, Fortnite. Let's talk a little price discovery around something electronic and or gaming. I know this is privately held, but
well, I mean, you pointed out that Tencent owns, which is Chinese operation, owns 40% of it.
40%, yes.
I don't, again, I don't follow Tencent so much. This is the U.S. version, traded at ADR. It's worth 24 billion. Let's start. This is not a pretty chart. Let's go to the daily, and we had the run up to 32, and well, if you wanted to look for value, I guess, and you believe the Fortnite legacy will continue, then maybe this is a good buy down here to the 12 area. But these, outside of that one little run, Bob, and there's all kinds of weird stuff between, whether it's Alibaba, the Chinese are cracking down on a lot of these high flying tech stocks that of their own. So it's a scary place to invest, quite honestly, right now. And that's why you saw this big move up, but the big move down. Kind of the same thing happened with Alibaba. So it's hard for me to get too excited about it. The other one that I saw today that was really interesting was Newegg, and I was like, what the heck's going on with Newegg? And you're like, well, how do I know that name? And I'm like, well, it was a retailer back in the 90s, late 90s. Like they would sell old laptops and reworked, refurbed. And I guess, I'm guessing by this action, Bob, that the Reddit bros must be behind this move. Because we've gone absolutely ballistic. We traded up to 70.5 this morning. They must have halted it and then they cracked it. So they're having some fun over here in Newegg land and trading 43 million shares today. And the news is basically that they're going to the Dell model. If you build a gaming machine online, they'll sell it to you. I mean, that was the news. I don't know.
Both of my sons have built their own gaming machines, the desktop gaming machines.
Sure. But the point is, there's already a lot of places doing this that are probably
right. Exactly. So they're saying, you pick the parts, let us build it for you, and we'll ship it out, and you don't have to worry about
demand in the next 2 weeks, and you'll be ready to game and play more Fortnite and no more mudrooms. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Mudrooms have been canceled because it brings back the days when people had to work, and people don't need to work anymore.
Yeah, and that ties in again. I don't think people are still traveling for work. They prefer not to get on a plane. They'd rather just say, "Hey, can't we just do this in an email or a Zoom?" And I think one thing that came out of the pandemic is you better rethink your meetings, right? You better rethink how you're going to do business, because I think a lot of people realize you know what I mean? Like, as ex-business development guy, there's no way I want to be sitting in meetings, but people inside the office love having meetings. Like, I don't know what they do, but they're always having meetings.
The CME actually stands for the Chicago Meeting Exchange, not the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Can you see me now, or do I need to share?
You got to share.
Got to share. All right. Let me share. This from Kyle Bass. We both file Kyle Bass. He is for sure a China hawk, a cryptocurrency advocate, a proud Texan. Wearing the Texas hat here today, Matt. Kyle talked about how much land that the CCP owns in the great state of Texas. I mean, that might be when Texas secedes, right? When the U.S. doesn't crack down on China hard enough, Texas just says, "Fuck it, we're going back alone. We're going back solo."
Well, and the one guy who is basically Xi's right hand man owns like 200,000 acres, like right next to a military, install that the U.S. has down there.
Exactly. Things mainstream media isn't covering.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this one, with China's rollout of its central bank digital currency. By the way, the rollout didn't go very well as far as I've been able to garner from news that never comes out of China. Over the next 12 months, these are getting hotter with Taiwan. China must first attempt to work around its dependence on the U.S. dollar and the the SWIFT that most multinational organizations are beholden to, before they attack Taiwan, he actually says it. The other thing that came out was the Japanese deputy prime minister saying the U.S. and Japan must be allies to fight China over Taiwan. Matt, I got to tell you, I don't remember hearing war drums like this. Let's just call it the way it is. War drums since like the the first invasion days, you know?
And in my life, I honestly can't remember that. That sounds like fear from the Japanese more than anything to me.
And that was the other thing that blew, like they're like, we have to be allies because we'll be next. Like that's actually in their mindset. I mean, there's thousands of years of conflict between Japan and China.
Yeah, they've both not been nice to each other and equal equal distribution. They're not good people to each other. No, they have not been nice.
That has been the history. Matt, let's talk War Machine stocks.
Yeah.
Why don't you share your War Machine du jour?
Yeah, before we get into the War Machine, why don't we talk a little bit about the NBA and the Suns last night first?
Dude, dominant. In fact, it was so dominant that Milwaukee came back and was within 7, I think, with 4 or 5 minutes left.
Oh, wow. Incredible
clawback by them. But holy shit, do the Suns, I mean, I called them the Heat because they're that hot. They look just absolutely dominant. And I don't see
tonight we've got Tampa Bay coming back, so I'm looking forward to hopefully them.
Tampa Bay raises the cup tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will too. The
other thing that we didn't talk about was the match yesterday with Phil Mickelson and DeChambeau.
And your nemesis, Aaron Rodgers, won.
He will not be my nemesis because there's no chance he's playing for the fucking Packers this year. No way.
You still don't think so?
No way.
This late?
No way.
They're doing mini camps. They're doing mini camps already, Bob.
Yeah, well, he's doing I'm out camp.
Wow. Okay. You heard it here first. And is he going to end up on the Bears? Where's he going?
He's going to New England.
Okay. Well, they drafted somebody. They still have Cam. That's a loaded playbook. Okay. Got a lot to happen. Hey, let's talk.
Anyways, but Matt, I got to tell you, I don't know if you watched any of it.
I didn't see any of it. I forgot about it.
Once again, if they had a live connect with an odds maker in real time, right? In real time, with money against money the par 3 is, can anybody get on the green?
Gotcha.
0 for 4 with money against money. I just thought it was another prime example how real-time prop bet gaming is something that I invented.
Well, they do it in the major sports, and I'm sure there are some places and some sports books where you can go and watch a tennis match and bet as we're going on, but it's got to be limited. It's got to be, again, it's probably more liquid than pet rocks. I mean, Bitcoin, but it's probably not much more liquid, those markets. So, they should be marketing it though, because you're absolutely right. There should be, if Penn Gaming wants to get in, really save its stock from going to 20, it probably should. But in the meantime, let's talk bombs. Let's go back to the military, and let's talk Raytheon, and let's look at Lockheed and Boeing today, Bob. Raytheon bottomed as did everything in March down here at 40. So it's ran all the way back to 90, not quite to where it was, but pretty darn close. Very bullish looking chart for sure. This is a daily, but also unless it can get up and above this, 95, it's kind of like stuck in the range again. So dividend paying, nice 2.4%. Right now, about 129 billion. How about that? 129 billion. Tesla is still 5 times bigger than this company.
That's unbelievable.
Still shocking to me. Let's talk Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, kind of the same looking chart. Again, it's been higher. It's been as high as 120 just back here last June, 1 year ago, and now you can see it came right to the top of that level, like right around $400, respecting it so far. Doesn't seem to want to be making this run to test this old high from early in 20 of about 443. But that's kind of the upside of that. Again, I would say bullish, but too late if you missed the move already, right? So it's hard for me to buy it.
Matt, let me just ask you because nuanced drink. This is congesting, but it's congesting in the value,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah, and again,
Raytheon
if
is
it can
congesting,
get,
but it's
if it can get
congesting
above
above its
400, if it
value.
can get above 400 and close above 400, especially on a Friday, Bob, it'll probably go test that 440, if not 450.
Right on.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not that I don't want to buy it, but I'd rather buy it at 320 today or above 400. How's that?
My question is this versus the previous chart, Raytheon,
Yeah.
where the congestion that has happened is above the value range. Do you make anything of that nuance?
Not really, because again, it's just kind of test. It's above, but this is the same time frame, but not really. It's above, but not too much. It's
Okay.
just the meat of it's still down here. I'd like to buy this at 60. I really don't want to buy it on a double top up in here. So,
Right on.
but you break out, and who knows how high the thing could go. And
Well,
then,
especially if you start fucking lobbing bombs anyway.
right. I mean, start throwing expensive hardware around. But it looks like a lot of that would be built in, though, quite honestly. Like if the bombs are going to be dropped, they've already been sold. So that's the other thing you got to appreciate. Oil usually runs until the war starts, and then it sells off because people aren't going to be running to the gas station if they're hiding from bombs. I mean, it's just the way it is. Boeing, as you know, got crushed down to $95 and has been slowly working its way back as high as 280. Currently trading right around 231. Again, same type of market cap, 135 billion, not paying a dividend right now, not making money, trading actively. It's been quite an active trader, but again, very trending. This is a bullish chart, right? It's been bullish for the last year, Bob, but look for your pullbacks. I mean, if you can get that down there, 212 or so, great. But I think this thing has a shot to run up to 300. I mean, you could buy some here at 230, you could add down. This looks strong. I mean, as long as it stays above 175, and it has been, and for a long time, it looks like a solid performer. Volume, came in early, and then since then it's just been lower lows, or excuse me, higher highs and higher lows. So trend is clearly up. You got a nice channel building in here. Is another way to look at it. But not if it breaks out of that range, that could be a nice little, you might see whatever that high low is here. It's probably somewhere around 190, almost $200. So I mean, potentially this thing could go crazy again if everything. But again, the things that are going on in the world, I just don't see that happening anytime real soon. And for that to happen, I mean, for us to get back to say 400, where it's traded up here in the 400s before, that's a long way away. That's a lot of things would have to develop and continue to, like, we can't have delta, lambda, zeta variants going on here and continuing.
Lambda psi.
Yeah,
that's the new variant.
I mean, we just if they keep talking that way, you're not going to help the economy. That type of talk and going door to door to sell me a vaccine is not going to work either.
All right, Matt. Lockheed Martin. You covered them, right?
We looked at them all, Bob.
Right on. I just want to make sure the maker of the F-35.
Yeah.
You start shooting some of those. That's the thing. War gets really expensive now. You're talking about super high ticket items. All plans work great, Matt, until you get punched in the mouth. Mike Tyson. Anyway, I don't remember recent history where there was this much war pounding of drums.
There's been a lot, but again, we haven't had, you forget 4 years with Trump, we had none. There was absolutely no warring going on in the world. There was no ISIS. There was no bullshit going on. It was basically squelched and, until the Democrats got back in, and all of a sudden the war machine gets ramped up again. So now, Biden's already thrown missiles, sold U.S. missiles that have bombed Russian assets already. So who knows what's going to happen? They're pulling out of Afghan because I guess they got enough heroin to supply the world for years and keep that party going, because that's the only reason they were ever in Afghanistan. And now we're going to go to, we're going to focus on the Black Sea and the Pacific, the Pacific exchange, everything that's going on in the South China Sea with Russia, China, Iran's out there with some frigates. I mean, it's absolutely, it's a little bananas. Taiwan, obviously, China thing is coming to an head. And yeah, it's interesting. Like, that's an interesting discussion, because I don't think the war is going to happen, because I don't think they're going to be able to get their shit together financially in a digital exchange or otherwise. So I don't think SWIFT, if anything's going to happen, I would say that if the U.S. wants to usurp and go to do something that's going to be really would be a detriment to China, would be to come out with their own digitized payment system, a whole new system, and shock the world, right? That would be the move. Like, be the first one to do it. Don't be the follower. And I think it would take somebody like the U.S. and tying it to the U.S. dollar and then rolling it over in some new system, right? There would have to be some way for that.
Sure,
that would be, it would be hugely detrimental to the Chinese if that were to happen.
I think the Chinese are hugely detrimental in the long run to the Chinese.
Probably.
A great book, The Next 100 Years. It's out. It's been at least a decade that it's been out. The Next 100 Years. Pick it up, read it, because it will open your eyes to some of the fundamental problems. And we mentioned or shared the articles talking about when China will take over, and maybe that they won't, that there's some systemic challenges in the top-down approach. Anyway, interesting read. Especially, I actually need to reread it, because I read it a decade ago. I need to reread it with this fresh set of eyes and experience that we face today. All right, Matt, sorry for the glitch. Sorry you can't see my beautiful mug. I know y'all miss it. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow for another segment of Market Vitals. Please share, retweet. Please join the community at marketvitals.io. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Bobby.